Please don't forget to support the Friedman Adventures family members who make this all possible, like the taxman, Tim Marquez, and your garage door man, Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Friedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend, John Lopez, and also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sportfishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sportfishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast with Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. Tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Friedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing, morning briefing.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. I can see us surf fishermen right here and a couple of other guys up here. We've got so much to cover with you all this beautiful Thursday. We got a little wind on our hands offshore right now. It's kind of snotty out there. The good news is it is going to lay down beautifully for this weekend. Going to be absolutely gorgeous. We'll go south of the border and see what our buddy Jeff Lingle's doing about 140 miles down. Did he see some dorado and yellowfin tuna? Catch any more bluefin? And speaking of bluefin, man, the game is back on again. They are biting and putting on quite a show, albeit we do have that wind for the next few hours or so, about 24-hour period where it's going to blow. The Coronado Islands, my God, what a bite we've got there. White sea bass up there in the Channel Islands, despite some windy conditions. We've seen bluefin as far north as San Francisco and beyond that. Things are popping here. It's August. It's a beautiful day. This is the Eastern Pacific, and you know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, is that good? Or what? In the Tootsie Report, I got a little feel of that water temp. Feels pretty darn warm to me right now. I am loving this. Yeah, it feels really nice here this morning. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Don't forget to subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that rotten, filthy, disgusting, deplorable, stinky little bell, and you'll be notified when there's new content. Share these videos everywhere, and you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Really great to be back with you all. Man, we have got so much to cover with you here today. We'll start you out in Mexico, where we're going to go down to the island of Cedros, where the yellowtail bite has not been up here this year. There's still yellows around there, and they bite very well on the surface iron at times. Well, a lot of other fish have entered into the picture in this year when our oceanography is changing, it seems like. And remember, we have that La Nina on the horizon now, so we'll see what this cold water does to us. We're going into that kind of a regime where you're going to see similar kind of fishing. There's also halibut, there's white sea bass, there's off the hook calico bass fishing. It's been pretty good down there in San Quintin, which is only 140 miles down below the border. We continue to see some really excellent fishing on the yellowtail down there. It has been really, really good. Excellent yellowtail. And then, you know, we don't talk about it a lot, but those guys can go catch sheephead and whitefish and rockfish. They've got barracuda down there. It's really good fishing. Ensenada, our bluefin, back in the picture again. We've got those jumbo squid, those Diablos Rojos, those red devils. Yeah, some 2-foot squid Humboldts have moved into the Ensenada area. Sometimes you'll catch them, sometimes not. They're actually under bird schools. The birds are on top of those things when they force bait to the surface, or they're just milling around the surface. Pretty cool stuff. But also in Ensenada, of course, in addition to that bluefin, we continue to hammer out good yellowtail catches at Todos Santos Island. Our friend Carlos Cortez out of Popotla's running to the Coronado Islands. We'll get more into that in a moment, but Carlos has been having great fishing, bluefin, yellowtail, you name it. It's been really good. And then south of Ensenada, around Santo Tomas, we continue to see some really excellent yellow action. Flurries of barracuda continue for our friends 60, 70 miles south of the border in Ensenada. It has been absolutely fantastic. Long range fishing yesterday afternoon. You can't beat what went on board the Independence as they had wide open yellowtail action. It was really excellent fishing. Full speed yellow action on the iron, bait. It didn't really matter. It was really, really good. The Royal Polaris yesterday had a few really nice yellowfin tuna, but bites were hard to come by. We've seen that from time to time. I don't want to lose the forest for the trees, because the Royal Polaris and all the boys have been experiencing great wahoo fishing, yellowtail action, yellowfin tuna action. Yesterday a little bit slower, but the Royal is all over the yellowtail here this morning with some great fishing going on the RP. We love what we are seeing now. I want to thank all the great folks who came by the Orange County Fair to say hi. It was so nice to meet Zach and your fiance. Zach, thank you for coming by. Albert Ponce and Crystal, great to see you. James Mosier and so many others. Really appreciate you dropping by. It's almost over. The Orange County Fair runs through Sunday. And once again, it has been such a pleasure meeting so many of you. So really good Mexico and long range. Bluefin tuna. Our very own John Garma, who is a great Friedman Adventures family member. He was at Tackle Shop Confessions. That's our live show that we do from Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California, every Monday at 6 p.m. You can participate in that. We had a big raffle, and John came by, went out and ate chicken wings with us at the end of the show. That was so much fun to have John along with us. He's on the American Angler right now, and he got a big one. Nice going, a 220-pound bluefin tuna. That is a West Coast jiggers trip, and they are having an absolute ball. John Collis is on that trip, and John says, man, we have some weather out here, but we're catching. We're up to 81 bluefin tuna. Some daytime fish, and the nighttime bite is back on again. We are so happy to see that going on. As we previously mentioned, there is a wind alert. It's snotty. Some of those Cadillacs, and when I say Cadillacs, I'm referring to the bigger long range guys, can hang in that weather. Some smaller guys will have a little bit of trouble, but this is going to be short-lived. We're going to get back to some nice weather here very, very soon. So hang on, everybody. Things are looking good. Heavier jigs in that snotty weather. Eddy bombs are very effective. Tungsten jigs work really well. West Coast jiggers, of course, on that trip, most everybody are using those jigs, and they're doing really, really well. So some really good signal. We like what we're seeing, and we especially like that this weather is going to come down after this 24-hour blow. And then the weekend looks like it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Talking to our dear friend, Jeff Lingle. Jeff is down there at about 140 miles below the border. He loves to sneak down there because it gives him the option to not only look at several other species, but he gets down there by himself. 3-day trip, 6 guys, 19 bluefin tuna, and last night the big ones were back. You know, here recently he had a night where it was a lot of smaller fish, Last night, 140 pounder, a buck 25, 105, 100 pounder. Most of his fish, the rest that is, were in the 50 to 85 pound class. Man, was that some awesome fishing for him. He also had good yellowtail fishing in on the beach. That's what I mean when I say he can get other species down there. And he also found some more of those smaller yellowfin tuna and also saw some dorado down there in that neck of the woods. So really good stuff. I love what's happening here with our bluefin tuna. That is looking exceptionally great right now. That is really, come on, get through this little wind, and I think we'll get back on it. And it seems to be biting very, very well. So good stuff going on. We got to go to the islands now. And when we talk about the islands, the Coronado Islands, after a slow start this year, have settled in to absolutely magnificent fishing where you can actually catch bluefin and yellowtail and barracuda and calico bass on the anchor all at the same time. It simply doesn't get any better than that. That is absolutely fantastic stuff that we see going on. Out there on board the San Diego, 45 yellowtail, 12 bluefin tuna. The Grande with an excellent day and a lot of bluefin tuna yesterday mixed in their account. They had really good fishing. I do want to make the point that the Mission Belle decided to go offshore yesterday. They went offshore, and I'm making this point because these full day guys are mostly going to the Coronado Islands, and how could you not? But the Belle got a really good signal offshore. Saw a lot of fish, and it seems like that's getting ready to go also. 23 guys, 8 bluefin, a yellowfin tuna, 6 yellowtail. Keep your eyes on that. At the Coronado Islands, 25-pound fluorocarbon on these mostly 10 to 20-pound yellowtail. Works good, but there's fish on the yo-yo iron. They've caught fish on the surface iron. They've caught fish on the dropper loop. It's been really incredible. Hey, it's worth mentioning the Pacific Voyager, Captain Evan, with a rare ribbonfish. Looks a lot like an oarfish, but it is not an oarfish. It was a ribbonfish. Look at that thing, a denizen from the deep for sure. You just never know what's going to happen when you get out on the water. You have to love that. Out there at some of our local islands like San Clemente, Santa Barbara, islands like that, the Thunderbird with a nice hit. Excellent fishing for the Thunderbird as they ended up with 26 yellowtail, 15 bluefin tuna. Nice hit. This fish up here in this sector is starting to bite. Backside of San Clemente Island, as I mentioned, is windy, but there's fish there and they're biting. And we've got fish up there in the Santa Barbara Island Gap also. Daniel Rubin on a private boat was out looking around going to Santa Barbara Island and ran into a nice jag of those bluefin tuna. They range in size from 10 pounds to over 200, as John Garma will tell you on the American Angler. So I don't know how it can get much better than that. The El Patron is back at Catalina Island again today, and they had a little bit slower trip here recently, but there's a lot of yellows around. There's some good calico bass. From time to time, you'll get conditions that are adverse, and yesterday was a ripping current, but we've got faith in the great El Patron to pull out a great trip out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org, with Mad Dog on deck and Captain Mark Sonoda running the boat Monday through Thursday. I believe Chris Isaac on the weekends. Man, you can't get a better crew. And hopefully we're going to see that yellowtail really turn on here in the fall. I really think we're setting up for a horseshoe kelp kind of yellow bite. Catalina Island, yellow bite, just a little bit longer, a week or two maybe. And I think you're going to see that manifest itself. Out there in the Channel Islands, some pretty breezy conditions, but that didn't stop the Aloha spirit for cranking 5 yellowtail, 5 white sea bass, the gray light with 4 yellowtail, 13 white sea bass, and our friend Daniel Hadaway on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing is on a halibut special here this very morning. It wouldn't surprise me to get some early info in from Daniel here this morning. He's been doing great on these halibut specials, and again, he'll be running all weekend long, and they're going to have gorgeous weather up there for their Kids Fish Free Sunday trip, as well as Saturday, Friday. Looking good in terms of the weather once this blow goes through. He's dealing with a little bit of wind and adverse conditions, but that doesn't stop him from catching fish. We'll watch it closely. Morro Bay, Avila Beach, great rock fishing. Monterey, great rock fishing up there. San Francisco, there's bluefin tuna offshore. You got to have good weather to get out there. And then inside the bay, we're continuing to catch striped bass and also some really excellent halibut fishing going on. It's really going well from Mexico all the way up to San Francisco. We love what we are seeing on the local scene. Some really good calico bass fishing going on in San Diego. Water temps up over 70 degrees. Some yellows mixed in with that at times. The new Seaforth has had some really good fishing in many occasions down there. And other boats, the Dolphin getting in on that yellowtail. And if all else fails, they've got rockfish, sculpin, that kind of thing. Mostly rockfish down in that neck of the woods. But really good signal on the bass. And still, there's some sand bass around. You have a chance to catch some of that also. Man, I'm hoping this guy catches a fish while we're going on and on. Western Pride, limits of bass, mixed sand and calico bass. Mostly sand, but excellent fishing. They threw on a nice halibut to boot here in the LA Orange County area. Still catching some bass. In fact, Zach, whom I met last night, I believe is on the Enterprise today. So we're wishing him the very best of luck here today. It's been a little scratchier. Sometimes somebody will get on them. Native Sun's had some good trips here recently. Monte Carlo, and then other times it's rockfish and sculpin. Depends upon conditions, depends upon whether the little devils want to bite or not. But again, as I admonish you all, if you want to get a bite when you're bass fishing, you choose a good hot bait, but you have to combine that with some lighter line. And dropping down a 12-pound fluorocarbon is such a great way to make a catch. I will tell you that right now. Some people think, man, 12, I can't pull very hard on 12. Take your 12-pound, tie it off to a cleat, and then pull on it and try to break it. And that'll give you a good idea of how hard you can pull on 12, and you're going to get bit up all day long. Marina del Rey's had some really great sand bass fishing here recently, and the Redondo Special has had great calico bass fishing. When they get the live squid, they got a good shot at an exotic or two, some white sea bass and yellowtail roaming up there. Also, we love what we're seeing up in Ventura. We continue to see some pretty good bass fishing, calico. There's a little bit of sand bass still hanging out up there. Some good barracuda fishing, pretty good up there in that neck of the woods. In the Southern California surf, well, nothing biting right now at this moment, but this is just a little slice of time for you all down there on the Huntington Beach Pier. There's a little bit of sand crab still hanging out and some good corbina fishing down there. Also some yellowfin croaker. We've seen some yellowfin croaker in this neck of the woods. I'm talking Surfside, and down there at the tower, perhaps you can see it way back there. That's Anderson Street and Pacific Coast Highway here in Sunset Beach, California. There's been some yellowfin croaker, corbina, and when we get further into the fall, that's when we're going to start to see more and more spot fin croaker re-enter the picture. Again, a little bit of halibut down by Long Beach, and also some decent fishing in the Santa Monica Bay around the Topaz Rock Jetty, corbina. We've seen some yellowfin croaker there biting pretty darn well, and same thing up there as we look further around El Segundo, El Porto area. There's been similar catches up there. Don't forget Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They have everything you'll need for your next surf fishing adventure. And I mean everything from rods and reels to fluorocarbon hooks, terminal tackle. They've also got you covered for big game stuff like bluefin and white sea bass and yellowtail. Big Fish Bait and Tackle, where they give away a free custom rod every single month for the largest surffish. The species changes from month to month. All you have to do is go in there, buy that ruler, and then you are in the tournament. And it's every single month. And it is a gorgeous, beautiful custom surf fishing rod. You're gonna love it, Big Fish Bait and Tackle. Make sure you say hi to all the guys there for me. All right, my friends, what can I tell you? We've got a lot going on. We've got to get through this little bit of wind. I'm talking mostly offshore. Catalina Island, there's not much wind in here. Locally, you can see not too much. But on the backside of San Clemente Island, where a lot of guys have been focusing their attention, and north of there on the Bluefin tuna, it's blowing here right now. It's going to be gone. It's going to be a gorgeous weekend. And I suspect since we're moving away from that full moon, we're going to see even better catches on the bluefin tuna. Nice going, Pacific Voyager on that ribbonfish. Nice going, John Garma, whom we consider one of the best Friedman Adventure family members on the American Angler, with that 220-pound bluefin tuna. John never ever lets me down. His first 200-pounder, I filmed and got to catch his joy as it came over the reel on camera. I'll never ever forget it. All right, my friends, have a great and wonderful Thursday. Of course, I'll be watching it all for you all day long, and I'll be keeping you in touch with all the very latest. Have a great day, and I hope to see you really, really soon.